Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Hudak with Activism Munich. I'm outside the Old Bailey Courthouse in London, and this is the third week of Julian Assange's extradition hearings. Today, the court heard from two defense witnesses that testified on what Assange would face if extradited and placed in a U.S. prison.
If there had been any doubt about what fate awaits Julian if he's extradited to the United States after today's testimony by two witnesses, there should be no doubt at all.
Maureen Baird was the first defense witness to testify, and she is a former warden at the Metropolitan Correctional Center. Baird testified that Assange would likely be placed under SAMS during pre-trial while he's being held at Alexandria Detention Center. And in addition, if he is convicted, he will be placed under SAMS, serving his sentence at ADX Florence. SAMS, or Special Administrative Measures, would limit Assange's ability to communicate with the outside world as well as other inmates under the guise of protecting national security.
It is terrifying to sit and listen about the situation that will await him in pre-trial detention, in isolation. The facilities that he will have to endure the rest of his days are horrendous.
Baird testified that inmates placed under SAMS are able to make phone calls to approved friends and family members. However, that phone call must be scheduled 2 weeks in advance to ensure that an FBI agent is able to monitor the call.
It was interesting and important to hear that it's difficult under special administrative measures in US prison to gain actually the psychological and medical access which Julian Assange would need, and what we learned from last week's medical testimonies here, that he's really under a high medical risk, under the risk of actually committing suicide.
The second witness to testify was Lindsay Lewis, a U.S.-based criminal defense attorney. She spoke about SAMS and the conditions Assange will face, corroborating previous statements made by witnesses earlier this week. Lewis went on to state that it is very difficult to challenge SAMS and that she is not aware of any inmate who has been successful in doing so.
For an individual like Julian, who has come from a very distressed background after all these years of confinement, given his mental conditions now, it is basically putting somebody to death.
Court will resume tomorrow morning, where we expect to hear from two UC Global employees. I will be back here covering this case and reporting on everything that you need to know, so please make sure that you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Taylor Hudak in London, and thank you all for watching.